Welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne, and this channel is all about bringing you content surrounding childhood sexual abuse. On this channel, I share news stories, interviews with other survivors that have gone through childhood sexual abuse. I also share my story as well, things that I found helpful, hopeful, and encouraging in hopes of empowering other survivors. So, if this is a type of content that you're looking for, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like the content. So today I want to bring to you a news story about a paedophile. A judge orders a paedophile to undergo experimental eye therapy and to pay for it himself to curb his perverted interest in children. So, Anthony Ackett of Grimsby, Lancashire, admitted possessing indecent images of children when police visited his home. Judge Ahmed Nadim deferred sentence on Ackett in order to assess his response to eye desensitization therapy, Grimsby Crown Court heard. He was told he must undergo the treatment either by paying for it himself or obtaining it through the NHS. The order was made after the judge was told it was the second time in 6 years that a kid had been convicted of possession of indecent images of children, following a conviction in 2014 when he admitted 8 counts of possession and 1 of distribution of indecent images. Back then, he received a 12-month sentence suspended for 2 years. The judge said this was a persistent breach and a breach of the sex prevention order imposed at the time of the previous hearing. He said Ackett admitted to having a perverted interest in children, though he had never translated that into acting out those fantasies. It is one of the first times a judge has ordered the treatment at Grimsby Crown Court and made it a condition of a deferred sentence. The therapy involves a relatively new treatment of eye movement desensitization and processing. It's available on the NHS and involves a patient recalling a traumatic event, usually from their childhood. At the same time, the patient receives stimuli in a rhythmic left-right pattern. The stimuli can be something the patient senses through hearing, sight, or feeling. Trained staff also use tones heard through one ear, then the other, wearing headphones. The process lasts for around 90 minutes once a week. It is used in the treatment of panic attacks, anxiety, and eating disorders, where patients disclose their feelings as a practitioner moves an image from side to side as they are talking. Judge Nadim said Akin had a perverted sexual interest in pornography. You contribute to the exploration of vulnerable children that leads to immeasurable harm. The images you viewed are created with harm and with consequential danger that lasts many years. The easiest thing would be to look at guidance and determine how long you are going to go to prison for, the judge said. He added, I'm willing to accept that you are committed to referring yourself to specialists and correcting yourself and refocusing yourself. If that can be achieved, that will be good for you and good for society. I am giving you a chance that you will take the measures to correct yourself. In the meantime, you will not offend in any way, shape, or form, and you will obtain counselling and therapy. I don't expect you to wait for financial reasons. He said he wanted confirmation within 3 days that a kid had made contact with experts. If you don't, you will appear before me and I will impose a significant sentence, the judge warned him. So that is just a small part of that story. And I must say, I'd never heard really about eye desensitization therapy before. I haven't really known a lot about it in depth. I do think in this case the judge is being quite fair in allowing this paedophile to correct his behaviour. But we do know just from the things that I've shared on this channel from people like Professor David Finkelhor, who's a leading expert in the issues to do with child sexual abuse, that paedophiles can rarely correct their behaviour by themselves. And I am wondering if this is a diversion tactic by this paedophile to buy himself more time. Because from the first sentence he had in 2014, he could have actually tried to correct himself then without the pressure of a judge putting these measures, imposing measures upon him. But he didn't do that. And instead, he continued to access very dangerous and sickening images of children being sexually abused. Now, I do believe the judge is going to hand him a harsh sentence. I think he's doing this more from the fact that this guy has said that he is wanting to correct his own behaviour. And even though the judge may have noted that, he hasn't acted on these fantasies, I am not 100% sure because he's been feeding his mind with images of children being raped and children being sexually abused by multiple people. And knowing the very lack of self control that paedophiles have, I wonder if he has actually acted out on these fantasies. Because, as I mentioned, Dr. Finkelhorst says that it's very rare that paedophiles don't then take things onto the next level. And also, as well, I have to wonder if he's really serious because he has breached a SPO order, which is a sex prevention order, and has continued to do these things. Also, he has to pay for the therapy himself or access it through the NHS. Now, if anybody knows the NHS as it is, it takes a very long time to access their services. Waiting lists are extremely long, and even so, with the cuts in funding for different departments, some services are only ever offered to those who are in desperate, desperate, desperate need. I don't know how long he's going to have to wait on the NHS to access this eye desensitization therapy, but it's going to be a very, very long wait. Just looking at forums that I have looked at people who have a multiple range of different issues which are not to do with sexual offending, a lot of people are saying it's been taking like 12 months and even longer. And in some cases, a lot of people have decided to try and pay for it themselves. From the looks of things, to have a half an hour session of eye desensitization therapy costs £63 a half an hour session. That is absolutely crazy, and it's more expensive than a normal hour of therapy because normal therapy costs anywhere from maybe £45, £50 upwards. Obviously, I understand it's a specialist treatment. He's going to need more than one session. Can he afford that? I am wondering why he couldn't just sentence him and, him attend therapy whilst he was inside, because I know they take sometimes prisoners for their visits to doctor's appointments. And I hope for this guy's sake, that he actually sorts himself out because if he hasn't abused a child already, it's only going to be a matter of time.